right, welcome back to our series here on Flippin' Motown. This is the last in our series where we're just overviewing the entire flip and giving you guys the good details on our timeline, our finances, and just things we've learned on it. Let's dive in and let's talk about this flip and how it worked out on Vacri Lane in Farmington Hills. So Tony, let's talk about the timeline.
So timeline, I look at this as a Christmas present, kind of belated because we bought it in December of 2023, December 22nd, just before Christmas, and it took about 16 weeks to flip it. And so I look at that and I say, not a bad timeline. I mean, that's a third of a year. We did what we needed to do, and I think we got it done in a decent time. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen besides the actual renovation work. So there's the initial offer, it has to be accepted. We have to get our contracts in place, have the construction done, list it, and then sell it. So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes besides the actual construction, renovation, flip portion of the project.
Right.
So 16 weeks, not too bad. What are your thoughts?
Likewise, I felt like this one went pretty much as planned. I think that if anything, we maybe could have got it done 2 to 3 weeks sooner, but realistically, I felt like the crew nailed it. They just did a great job. And I think that all in all, we only had a few bumps in the road along the way. Like you said, when we closed on it in December 22nd of 2022, the reality is that like we probably had 2 weeks where we really didn't have much going on because of Christmas and New Year's and things like that. So that's where maybe a little bit of lost time, but it didn't hurt us any.
No.
Then looking at the finances. So we ended up purchasing this home for $285,000. So that's what we closed on it in December. We ended up holding it for approximately 4 months. And so when you factor in our holding costs, that's taxes, insurance, utilities, and things like that, we ended up being at about $4,350. And then we ended up having an initial budget that was in on the project where we thought we'd be right around like maybe $75,000. We did end up spending a little bit more than that. We ended up spending just shy of $85,000 on rehab. And that's because of just some of the few surprises that we had along the way and things like that. But none of it was out of the realm of what we expected. And then when it was done and completed, we had it staged and listed it. We ended up listing the house for $419,900, knowing that at that was about $250 a square foot. That was definitely at the tip top of what we could probably expect to get for it. But we were hopeful that through the market conditions that we have right now, we'd be able to overdo what our expectations were, and we did. We had multiple offers and ended up accepting an offer for $440,000 within a couple of days of being on the market.
2 days, yeah.
So when all said and done, we were right around $40,000 of profit, maybe just a little under. And so this ended up being a very, very good flip for us, especially given the timeline maybe being 2 to 3 weeks longer than we wanted. But at the end of the day, made some good money and
What's that, $10,000 a month?
Yeah, made some buyers really happy, and so that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you learned along the way on this one?
You know, this was pretty straightforward. The only thing we had to deal with, and I think we mentioned this earlier on, was opening up the kitchen into the great room. That was a little bit of a challenge. And then also we found out, and we knew this when we purchased it, that we were gonna need to do something about the roof. Either know that we're not gonna do it and the future homeowner is gonna have to deal with that, or we're gonna have to take it on and get it done. That one I'm still wrestling with whether we should have or not. The sale could have gone through the same, maybe a little under what we got, not the tip top of the market, and we still would have been fine and not had to do the hassle of replacing the roof for cost and also the schedule.
Yeah.
We had to fit in time for the roofers to do that.
Right.
That was one that I'm still saying, I don't know if we would do the roof again and just maybe let in a market like it is, a seller's market, do we have to do the roof? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it looks nice, and I know the homeowner's happy about it.
I think that the part for me that was really enjoyable, and you weren't there for this, but we had purchased this home. It was 3 sisters whose mother had passed away. This was her home. And so for them, like this, there was some emotions tied to this property. And so it was really cool. They all were very interested in seeing the home after we went ahead and did the renovations. And I'm always a little bit concerned about that because it's like, what if they feel like we kind of like totally screwed up their mom's home or whatever. So we always take a little bit of a risk by involving them to come and take a look at the property afterwards. But they did, and like they had not only the 3 sisters, but their kids and husbands and all that stuff. There was like a handful of people in this home, and they were just oohing and ahhing. There were tears shed. They were so happy and excited for what we did, and that's, to me, that's I can't put a price tag on that, but just knowing that like we helped benefit them, we helped benefit the neighborhood. The buyer is incredibly blessed to have this property because we did it the right way, right? There was no corners cut, and we benefit, you know, as well. So it's like one of those where I just feel like this one especially just felt win-win-win all the way around. Well, that's concludes our episode, our last episode of Flippin' Motown on the Vacri Lane, Farmington Hills property. This was an awesome flip, super enjoyable to do, and looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.